The Twisted Life of Aileen Wuornos. The case of America's first female serial killer had the whole nation wondering if she was a criminal or a victim. This may be of interest to you because not many people think of women of having these violent tendencies. Aileen was made into a monster. To further explain this, we'll be discussing Aileen's youth and the crimes she had committed. First, let's look at Aileen's childhood. Aileen's youth was anything but good. Aileen was born in Rochester, Michigan on February 29, 1956. At only 6 months old, her mother, Diane, abandoned her. Her father, Leo, committed suicide in a mental institution where he was committed for sodomizing an 8-year-old child. She was then sent to live with her grandparents. Aileen was abused by her grandfather. In the documentary Aileen, Life and Death of a Serial Killer, her childhood friend Dawn recalls Aileen being violently beaten by her grandfather. At the early age of 9, she started having sex for cigarettes with local boys. At age 14, she gave birth to a son after she was violently attacked by what was rumored to be her grandfather's friend, Chief, a local pedophile. The baby boy was put up for a closed adoption. She became despised by everyone in town. Shortly after, she got kicked out of her grandparents' house and started living in the woods at the end of the street. She had lived there for 2 years. Her trauma and suffrage caused her rash decision to hitchhike to Florida. It didn't stop there. Aileen's troubles seemed to follow her. She decided to settle in Daytona where she would continue to hook and hitchhike. In 1986, she met Tyra Moore at a biker bar. The two fell deeply in love and ended up moving in together. In one day, Aileen could make $200 to $300. But on November 30th, 1989, Aileen would finally break and claim her first victim. According to the movie Monster, Richard Mallory had attempted to rape Wuornos. It was later proven that this was not true. Aileen avoided telling Tyra about the murder, but eventually confessed to her. Tyra was an alcoholic and kept spending the money that Aileen was making. This is when Aileen started killing more than hooking. She would hitchhike on Interstate 75 and pretend to hook, then later kill when she was in a private setting. From the year 1989 to 1990, she had killed 7 men. According to Aileen, these were not thrill kills. She did it to simply rob them. Eventually, on January 9th, 1991, Wuornos was arrested at a biker bar in Volusia County, Florida, on the account of an old warrant. The next day after the arrest, the police apprehended Tyra. The police convinced Tyra to get Aileen to confess via phone call while she was in prison. For this, Tyra was granted full immunity, and the police had enough evidence to convict Aileen for all of the murders. Aileen served 10 years on death row, and on October 9th, 2002, she was executed by lethal injection. Aileen Wuornos was made into a monster. To show how, we looked at the abuse she endured and how it led her to become a vicious serial killer. Was Aileen Wuornos a monster or a fault of her own childhood?